So as you can see, this is Nigerian chart. I'm marking your supply and demand here on the charts. We'll start here. If you can check well here, we are having a demand zone. We are having a demand zone. The point of range, because it's just the same thing we did on the diagram there. If you change the diagram, the point of range, then definitely the price is going to tap to that. Price is going to come down and tap to that a demand zone or either supply zone for the price to continue to that certain direction. And so right now we are just going to try and mark up the supply and demand. So the supply and demand, while we are marking up the demand zone, which is here, the demand zone. Here, as you can see, we are having a demand zone here, and we are also having another demand zone here. We are also having a demand zone here. What did you see? Price came back, tapped into it, and pushed back. Then we take this high. So it showed that, yes, demand are in control. But after all, after this shift, what did you see? Well, so after this shift, what did you see? We end up coming down and taking the demand zone. So as we take this demand zone, supply are in control right now. So for you to ask yourself, we take a shift here. Where is the supply that really take this demand zone? So this is this supply that take the demand zone. This complete range here is the supply zone. So let's just mark the supply zone. This is the supply zone that take the demand zone. So right now, the demand zone is filled while the supply are on control right now. The supply is on control right now while the demand is falling. So as you can see, we are having another failed demand here. We are having another failed demand here. We are having another failed demand here. So where is the supply? That's the question you always ask yourself. Where is the supply that take this demand zone? So it's actually the build of range. It's actually the build of range or pivot points. The last point of pivot or the last point of range that push the price to take that low zone or the high zone of supply or either demand. So that's vice versa. So as we are here right now, we are going to mark this. So what did you see again? We have another demand zone. We are going for this. We have another demand zone here that failed. So this thing is actually showing you that yes, we are having supply in control of the market while demand is failing in the market. So this is how to mark up your supply and demand on the chart. So here we are having another supply zone here. After this demand zone taking, we are having another supply zone here that take this demand. We are having another supply zone here that fail this demand, which is the simple logic you are just going to follow in terms of marking up your supply and demand. The simple logic in terms of marking up your supply and demand. So right now, what then happened again? We still have a point of, if you can see here, let me just mark it up. If you can see here price mitigate to the demand and fell. Price came back again. We mitigate to this and fell again. We fell again. So this is how you're going to be like marking up your supply and demand. So the next video we're just going to see the selections of demand, what really build a demand, what really make a valid demand or a valid supply zone. So which we are going to just check in a depth. We are just going to check in deep down there and see where is a valid supply zone and where is a valid demand zone. Which one is good for us to mark out? Like here, I just give you an example on the chart, the supply and demand, how you can really wait for price to come back to your supply zone and take it, or wait back for your the price to come back to your demand zone and also take it. So that's the vice versa. That's what is really happening in the market. So as you can see here, so after when this supply fell, which is this supply fell, what did you now see? Demand is holding right now. Demand is holding right now. So price never came back to this demand. Price never came back to this demand. What did you see? We still have another demand zone that yes, price mitigate, which is inside bar. As you can see, price came back to this demand and mitigate to it. What then happened? We have supply fell. The last point of the move and the beginning point of the move will either be your supply and the demand zone. What then happened here again? We still have some move of demand holding. Demand holding while supply is falling. Demand hold or while supply is falling. Okay. So right now, let's just move down to the next video where we are going to just focus on the selections of the supply and demand, what really make it a valid supply and what really make it a valid demand zone and what make it invalid and valid again in the chart. So actually this is what we are just going to look next. And here you really have to just go back to your chart and like try it, mark up, just follow what I really did here, mark your supply and mark your demand zone, bring out and ask yourself who are in control, where is the price going right now, you understand, who are holding the market right now, who the hands on their favors, either supply or demand zone. That's where how you are just going to make sure you see everything is trying to be clear to you, and when you really try to focus and implement the same thing you are seeing here, you are just going to see that yes, this is it. There is no any other way. This is it. But part of this, we are just going to like check the next our video, the valid and invalid of it. So thank you guys.